timing. Wow, music, that was really cool. Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion. So that song just decided to fade out just as the timer was counting down. That was really, really cool. I was not expecting that. Anyway, hi. Welcome to Monday. I hope your Monday has been treating you well, or is treating you well, or will be treating you well, depending on where you are in the world. I think most everyone has started their Monday. I don't know that there's anywhere in the world that hasn't. Anyway, hi. Welcome. So today I'm hoping to finish up with our bot stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know how to say this, but yay. I have been playing around with AutoGen, which I showed a couple of times on the stream. And so AutoGen Studio is a way to what's the fancy term that architecture people use, that systems designers and stuff use? Orchestrate. So AutoGen is a cool way to orchestrate various agents, AI agents, aka GPTs, to do various tasks. And so the task that I told it to do, which I think it just finished, so I don't have to worry about it. Awesome. And not only that, but I shut it down. But the task that I told it to do, or the agent that I set up, let me walk through that because it's really cool stuff to me. I thought. All right, I'll wait for it to finish. I think it started. Yeah, it started. Okay, so the thing that I set up was a model orchestrate taken directly from the word of the day, toilet paper. Yes. Actually, today's word of the day was also pretty cool. I stopped doing the word of the day because it was kind of too much for me. But today's word of the day is dilatory. Slow to act, intended to cause delay. There you go. Now you got it. A new word that I can use with my team in order to just, slyly say, quit being so dilatory and just get it done. Anyway, hi Patrick Laborn. So what we normally do on our channel is work on Blazor software development. Lately, I have been working on my bot just a little bit to add an archery game, which we are mostly done with. You cannot see it because I forgot to refresh this page after logging in. So let's try that again. Boop, boop. And there is my little archer. That target is a little bit big. We added it at the end of Friday's stream. You can see that the automated realms is a bot that uses a local LLM to provide not really customized, intelligent, I can't call them intelligent responses either, randomized responses following a prompt that I give it in response to what we're doing with the game. So right now the top of the target is the actual top of the target. All right, Big Amy will be here. And I'll read your message and question. Rival paradox. All right, after I do this, shoot 560 too high. Oh, that was really close though. 50, a little too soft. 55, and after 3 tries, it gives you a message that says, here is your highest score of the 3. Your previous highest score was 49. It's still kind of weird the way that it responds. It doesn't include all of the information that I want it to. Oh. That's what I get for not reading it. Kill it with fire. Hi. I'm terrible at this. Thank you so much, Big Gamey, for letting me know that that was a bot. The other thing that we normally do on this channel, actually the primary thing that we should be doing on this channel, is working on an application called Financial Management Tracker. It's currently just a side project that we're doing together as a stream. It is open source. You can check it out on GitHub project. If you are interested in it, we will get back to it as soon as I am done with all of this bot shenanigans stuff. But this morning, while waiting for some builds, I have a day job. For those of you that don't know, I have a day job that I work for a consulting company, and I am assigned to a client. So during the day, I am doing client work. I am doing work on their projects. And it's at the same desk. It's just I take 2 hours out of my Monday, Wednesday, Friday to stream. And failed. Anyway, I'll figure out why that's failing. So anyway, I had a few PRs to do this morning, and so in between each PR being merged into master, which we still call our main branch master, I know. So I need to build in between each. So we have pipeline builds that take 30 minutes because they get signed, and then so each of the DLLs get signed, and then the APPX gets signed, and then the signed APPX is what gets tested. So that has to happen, I don't know why, on every single PR build. And so every PR build is a release pipeline as well, which just doesn't make sense to me. We should only have one release pipeline that we trigger for our testers after we're done with all of our merges, all of our main branch merges, and then one pipeline that is our release or release candidate build. But that's not what we do. So anyway, those take 30 minutes, and then if I need to rebuild locally, so if I'm reviewing someone's PR and I don't exactly know how the app is going to behave from their code changes, I usually just clone their branch. I pull their branch to my dev machine, I run it, I see the behavior, I make sure nothing else is crashing because of the code changes. And so when I do that, it takes about 5 minutes to build my dev in Visual Studio, my dev build. So in between that, I keep myself busy. Usually I'm looking at API docs. So right now we're using another team's API to get customer information if the customer chooses to sign in. But I'm caught up on that. So the other thing that I was doing was looking at this AutoGen Studio and trying to get my local LLM to work with this, or get this to work with my local LLM. Choose one. So they give you for free the connection to GPT-4. You have to provide your own API key. They give you an example of setting up your local one. And so I set up my local one that's running on Thyrovius, which is a computer that's over there. And things were not working at first. And that's because I left off the V1 and I didn't know that that wasn't supposed to be left off. I also provided the API type OpenAI and found out that I shouldn't be doing that. And then when I was setting up the skills, first of all, I left off a colon, so I didn't realize that that was going to cause an error. But I set up these two agents to do stuff. And this is from a tutorial from Matthew Brennan. I think that's his name. Matthew Brennan. Berman is what I said. Matthew Berman. And so I followed along his YouTube transcript getter. And what he wanted to do with his is write a blog post and tweets about his YouTube channels. What I want from it is to write a short description and timestamps, aka chapters. So I followed his example. I modified it so that I would get timestamps and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then this is the agent for receiving the transcript, summarizing it, writing the description, and extracting a timestamp with no less than 10 seconds in between each timestamp. I took an example timestamp from this Gaussian splats video that I was watching. I was just watching it at the same time, so I just grabbed the timestamp from it. And I'm providing that as an example. Created a workflow that says you're going to be the thing that orchestrates, I'm using that word again, all of my agents to take in a YouTube video URL, grab the transcript using the YouTube API, and then feeding that transcript back to the thing that does the summarization to write the description and chapters. And so I ran that just now, this morning, and I thought that it wasn't going to be done by the time the stream started because it output some crazy stuff. So here's my prompt. I accidentally had this ... at the beginning of my prompt, so I think that might have also caused some of my issues. But take this YouTube URL, and again, this is using Matthew Berman's wording. I'm waving at him over there. So this is the video that I wanted it to grab this transcript for, which is auto-generated, of course, but should get us close enough. Has timestamps and everything. Take that and then output the transcript. The example that the transcript getter used was a cat video. Oh, that'd be perfect. So anyway, it did successfully get my transcript, but then when it was feeding it back to the description maker thing, so the transcript getter was saying to description, you question. And it just did this for like 40 minutes. It's like, this is not helpful. This is not a good thing to send. And so the summary that we got back is the hash pipe 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 which was perfect. And hello GokuJax, hello Disco, hello Dickasoft. If you didn't know, Bikimi was first. So I was just interested in finding out if I can make this better. The other thing that I noticed while I was running it was that the timestamps didn't actually come through here, and that's because I didn't review the skill code. So you can essentially get it to run any code. In this case, it's running Python. But the skill code is just string concatenating all of the entries, which are, enter one line per entry. And so we're essentially concatenating them using a space in between. And so what I wanted to do is output this in a different format. And that format is specifically, I just deleted it. It just does it, man. Okay. So before I do that, let me remove the skill from this agent. And then since the workflow gets a copy of the agent, I'm going to go ahead and delete the agent from the workflow, and then we'll re-add it. Thank you for the announcement, Dugusoft. You missed your chance to exercise the banhammer, your banhammer hand. Oh, back to skills. Okay, so new skill, fetch the YouTube transcript. So what this one does is it uses date time, but instead of only concatenating the text, we're also adding angle bracket and then the actual starting seconds. And that way we have our timestamps in line in the text that it's going to use. I would run it again, but we're using the bot, the LLM, for our stream, so I'm going to have to wait until after. But I'd be really interested to see what it does. I need to give you a skill. So distracted. Okay, so it's set up for me again so that after the stream I can figure it out. The other thing that I want to figure out is a couple streams ago, Scott showed us this semantic kernel library from Microsoft that should help us to have our bot run custom C# code, custom methods. But yeah, definitely join us in following Big Amy. Let's go ahead and do a video shout out to... Seems some baby is taking my job. I resisted the urge to give him moderator. Like,
this Michael puts work and love into his stream.
Hey, this is new.
Michael.
Right. That was so confusing.
This Michael. I mean, I've been called worse. You can call me Michael if you like.
I was as confused as you were. I don't know who they was talking about, but it surely wasn't our Big Amy. Bit baby. But anyway, check out his stream. As you saw, or I should have pointed out some features on there. Just above his head, he has a couple of Twitch streams that are live while he is live that he also follows. So he's always promoting people. He's always such a good guy. But the game that you saw on screen that he was working on is Homeward Hound, which is the game that he works on his stream, except for Fridays when he works on a zombie game because he gets to use Fridays as his distracted day. I get to use every day as my distracted day. Terrible. Okay. Anyway, so this is our bot. This is our game. Oh, right. That's what we're doing. We're trying to get the target to fit because right now the target just takes up the size that it takes. So how do we get the target to fit in the bounds of the div? Going to be in U. Dang it. It's going to make me restart the bot. So target.razor.sass. We're going to make some isolated CSS. We're going to compile it, and then it's going to say files changed. We're going to do a hot reload. A rude edit hot reload. And then once it comes back up, I will log back into the bot. Anyway, how is Monday going for anyone that feels like typing in chat? You have no obligation to type anything in chat, especially if you're just here to lurk. I do not want to distract you from doing whatever you're doing, but I hope that I get to give you some beneficial energy spikes. I'll spike your drink and stuff. Oops, we're already trying. It's not what I said. Interceptors, right? We were talking interceptors on Friday too. All right, where are we at? Cancun, where are you? I am trying to refresh the archery scene. Interceptors, pew pew. Redeem archery. Get our 2 big target. And now we should be able to start styling the target. As I say, it's fancy. So we're going to .target as our wrapper. And we're going to have the SVG fit inside of our container. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to do height auto, width 100%. Do I want to do it that way or the other way? Make it take up as much width as it takes up, but always take up the full height. Yeah, I want to do it the other way. Does this fix it? Does it even make a change? Nothing. I'm gonna make a change. What was the name of the sassy compiler you're using? It's called Web Compiler, and it's an extension. And it's Web Compiler Plus 2022. Web Compiler 2022 Plus is what I said, by Jason Moore. So this is the one that Mads Christensen made. It's just that Mads didn't update it for 2022. He said he didn't have plans to update it for 2022. So Jason Moore took it upon himself to update it for 2022. And it's been very helpful. So thank you to both of them because I love it. And then when you are using it, when you create your SCSS file and you want to compile it, you can right-click Web Compile, right-click Web Compiler, and then this will say Compile. And what Compile does is if you don't have a compiler config.json, it'll create one for you. If you already have one or after it creates it, then it will add the configuration for it here. And you can add more stuff to the configuration. There are more options that you can put in here. I forget what the format is, but you can set them up. You can see some of the formatting in here. Yes, minify. So by default, if you don't make any changes, you will get both the CSS and the minified CSS when you do the regular compile. Ooh, and Mooniz just went live. And are you streaming today too, BitGamey? You normally stream on Mondays? I spelled his name right. Goku Jack says, I have caching service called cache service, an application setting called enable caching, where I should check enable caching setting if it's enabled or not to cache the result inside cache service or inside the caller class. I would say because of the way that debug works, so for example, debug is a feature flag, precompiler flag, all of that stuff. Somebody give me a .cs file, please. So you can do the hash if debug. This is essentially how feature flags work too. If you turn them on and off, you define a variable. So debug dot whatever you're using, debug dot write line, for example. Notice that I'm not doing a if debug check here. Instead, what's happening is in this method, it's doing conditional debug. So what this means is debug must be defined in order for this method to run. If it's not defined, it doesn't run. So this would be the pattern that I would recommend for you. In caching service, that would be the thing that says, does the application have the caching flag turned on? That's just my recommendation, my opinion based off of what I felt in this moment. That's not based off of anything that I know. Otherwise, I'd have to do some research with you. You are welcome. So if anyone does have an actual informed answer and feels like responding, please do. And also Goku Jax, you know that we also have the Discord also, which you are a member of, unless you left, in which case I don't need to know. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's a fairly quiet Discord, but you can ask there, is what I'm trying to say. There are more knowledgeable people about this type of thing there. Okay. I need this thing to be relative to the bottom. Rems. Okay, manual game, Q Archer. And now we can see our target here as well. So I'm going to do some Emmanuel changes to it to find out what I can do. Get the target, the SVG, to fit inside of the wrapper div. It looks like it didn't take the properties that I just gave it. So we'll see if these properties actually do work, do what I think they're gonna do. Width will be auto, height 100%. It does. It does exactly what I want it to do. Sagat. So then the other thing that I need, flow right. Yeah. So that moves it to the front, to the frunk. So maybe I do need to give it some depth, because right now the target itself is going to be pretty bad. No background color. Instead we just have a target. We'll see how visible it is on stream, but I'm going to take those rules. You there. Give me all of the things that have to do with the target's shape and size. use target height is going to get passed in. So I don't exactly know where I want to put this. Right. I want it to be a parameter is where I want to put it. Duh. Okay, anyway, use target height for now. No background color. We get a specific width of 20 pixels, no matter what. Actually, we don't need a specific width anymore because it's just going to be whatever width the SVG gets. And then the height is going to be 100%. I made it disappear from the game over there. Height 100% with auto. And then we did float. Right. Float. It's a Swedish way of pronouncing it. I said Swedish. Yeah, I made it disappear from that. Why did that make it disappear? Oh, maybe it does need a width. Whoa! I think we found it. Interesting. Okay, so we'll give it a width of 20 pixels. Have you ever tried integrating Tailwind into Blazor? I have not. So I typically don't use CSS libraries. I know I need to start using, not need to start using them. I typically just avoid the struggle with fighting with a CSS library like Bootstrap or Tailwind. And I just roll my own. I don't know. Am I still, at least for my, whoa, I don't know what my throat was doing there. At least for my bot, I think I am using Bootstrap because it was just a throw stuff up there. But for something like my website, which is not anywhere near complete or even started, I guess. This is like the very, very basics. I am definitely just going to roll my own CSS. But that's not to say that CSS libraries are bad. They are definitely very usable. Yeah, everything is Blazor, but are you talking like Fluent UI? Because I haven't used that either. It's the dangers of trying to get into a technology as soon as it comes out. So I started messing with Blazor as soon as preview was out. And I was playing with it. I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need for my for the applications that I was working on, which is modernizing legacy Java applications. They wanted me to take JSP applications, move them over to .NET. And then when I moved them over to .NET, ASP.NET was the only thing that was out. .NET Core 2.2 was the latest framework. And then they started talking about Blazor, and I'm like, this is perfect for my document management system application that I'm converting. And as I was doing that, there weren't component libraries, at least not robust ones. And when they started coming out, they were really, really hard to work with and to understand. So then I started making my own components. And So because of that, I started getting used to rolling my own components as well. So I don't use third-party component libraries either. I use a few of the built-in Fluent UI stuff, but not much. Not much at all. I tried to get rid of Bootstrap, but my skills stuff looks like crap without it. I agree with about that. I want to say that statement with my own skills in CSS, but I have improved a little, not too much, but we are going to find that out. I'm going to test myself and figure out, do I actually have improved design skills by not using a third-party CSS library? And I've been rolling my own. Why am I struggling to talk again today? What is going on? But yes, hello Napalm, we are here to give you opinions. That is one thing you'll notice on our channel. I keep looking at this because there's a notification. What you'll notice about our channel is that we are highly opinionated, and I allow that. As long as you aren't trying to sell your opinion as everyone must buy this, everyone must do this, if it's an opinion. If it is like best practices and you've studied it and you're like, this is what I have found to be best practices, then sell it as that. But if it's just an opinion, don't try to push that on people. That's my only gripe. But anyway, unit testing. Static extension methods, obviously challenging. Specifically, these are methods that set up open telemetry. This feels more like an integration testing versus unit testing. Agreed. What are your thoughts? Do I have thoughts on that? I wish I had more information about open telemetry. So like, it really depends. These static extension methods, it depends on what it is that you're testing about those static extension methods. Are you testing that the correct telemetry information is getting logged? Or are you testing that the method itself is running without errors and that the proper exceptions are being, or that the exceptions are being handled properly? Because the latter is unit testing and the former is functional testing, end-to-end. Integration testing is what I said. All right. And then Floritoby. Sorry. I can read. I'm a Pern dev, but I do have some interest in learning Blazor, mainly for its stability, I suppose. So Pern, PHP Express, React, and Node. I don't know what the P is in that. Postgre. Dang it. Postgres, Express, React, and Node. You're integrating Twitch API into your app. Cool. Yeah, so again, this is my bot. This is the Derail distracted, trying to add this game, make it look good, have fun with it. Which we're mostly done. I have some sprites-ish that I'm using. I still want it to be animated. I still want to do a lot more with it, but it's good enough for our stream. So yeah, this is my Twitch bot specifically that we're playing with. So VS Console versus OTLP. I should know what OTLP stands for. Okay, I need to refresh this page. Start a new game. Oh, dang it. Somebody remind me to grab the URL after positioning this thing. Dang it. I grabbed the URL. Thank you for the reminder. It's what provider do you want to export traces, logs, etc. is really all the extension methods do. Yeah, but I mean, it still sounds like you are testing the functionality of the methods. Like, do the methods run and give you and not cause exceptions? Because I'm assuming they're also void methods, or they return a task. Thank you, Tukasoft. In which case, you are just testing the methods themselves and not, when I input this, the logs, your mocked up logs received the correct records. Do you use Figma? I do. So let me show you that. So when we get back to the financial management tracker, which is what I'm going to show you in Figma, you will see the work that we've done. If you're interested in seeing our previous work in this, there's a lot of fluff, but you can see the project under the P01 playlist on YouTube's. And I just provided the YouTube link. So when we were doing this project, the entire thing about the financial management tracking system is I used to be able to stream my day job. And again, that was modernizing legacy applications, going from JSP to .NET, and then going from ASP.NET using .NET Framework 4.7.2, because that's what was out at the time, to .NET Core, and then eventually keeping it up to date, .NET 5, .NET, well, that's where I stopped, I think, .NET 5, because I got a new job. So when I got the new job, I wasn't able to stream my day job anymore. And so I'm like, I still want to do Blazor development as if we were doing a job for a client, and the steps that I would take if I was doing a greenfield application. So this one is the financial management tracker. Came up with a few designs. We chose this one. I chose this one. Came up with a few sketches of what the UI could look like. We implemented this. We added the functionality, decided what database, decided what project types, everything like that. Again, you can see that in our GitHub project, the current progress of it, which we have all of the basic functionality done. It works the way that it's supposed to. And so now the process that we are on, which is why I kind of took a break, is we are actually doing a UI redesign for this application. I'm kind of not really happy with this UI anymore. So we came up with, I used this thing, which is their AI integration in Figma FigJam. And it created these lanes for me, essentially. And we went through these lanes, came up with some information on how to improve the look and feel of the application. And then in doing so, we also came up with some functionality improvements. Yeah, it's very interesting. I agree. But right now I've just been hijacking this Figma design page for the elements of the archery game. I don't know, would you look better? Oh, right. Center. I think maybe it would look better a little squished. Ah, scale is what I wanted with those. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it stretched like this for now. We'll see if it looks better smaller. Scale sounds fishy. Sure does. I'll tell you what. What is this? Awesome. Okay, so this is AutoGen Studio. Right. then. Okay, Emmanuel game. Do not send stuff to Twitch. Cue my archer. Still can't see the target. So make it disappear. Find out where my target is. Okay, so the target is here. You are unhappy because you don't have a width, right? Yeah. Interesting. So this one is not taking the CSS that we defined here in our isolated CSS. Are you not compiling or something? It's compiling. What? Okay, I'm going to stop the actual app and restart it, which means we're going to lose our bot for a minute. I do love how Figma allows me to copy things as SVG. That's exactly how we created the sprites. So I sketched them up really, really fast. I'm not a designer. I'm not a UI expert by any means. So I just kind of threw stuff together and was like, that kind of looks like an archer. That kind of looks like an arrow. That kind of looks like a target. And then just copied it as SVG and threw it in a component and called that my sprite. But yeah, I think I need to stop this and restart. So I can just create my icons there if need be. Yeah, and the thing that I love the most, like the organization that I work with, the client that I am assigned to is a really big one, multinational. And we have one central source for all of the approved brand icons. And if you are in Figma, if you're trying to sketch up a UI using Figma, you just reference that library. Yeah, you add the component library essentially to here, and then you can search for your icons, get all of your icons, your typography, colors, all of that stuff. It's all here. So you can just use those components and then draw up your UI so that all of our apps look consistent across the entire product line. Emmanuel Archer. There we go. All right, that's better. So now let's see what this looks like in actual stream. You know what? I'm going to change my game view link real quick so I don't have to keep remembering, because I'm too lazy to remember stuff like that. Navigation. Okay, games. Dude. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, so now, hopefully, hello. Anyway, eventually, this link should update to have my current settings. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. There we go. Oops, too far. Too far. Okay, there we go. Now what do you say? Yes. Perfect. All right. Great feature for sure. What do you look like? Oh, I already spawned. Didn't I refresh you? There we go. Okay, so the target is barely visible. But hey, that's part of the challenge, right? Pew 5 7 70 oh. 68. I can't believe I hit it. I want to hit the lower edge of it. Can you do that for me? Yes. Yes. Okay. So it worked-ish, but I do think I need to make it squishier and fatter. Shoot! You got to start archery first before you can shoot. Pew pew pew. Yeah, if you make it any smaller, you can give out subs to anyone that hits the target. So we can do the 99.5 and above. We can do subs for that. But first, which is who? Who goes butt first? Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong goes butt first. What was I trying to do? Oh, what did the Dorito farmer say to the other Dorito farmer? Cool ranch. So good. So good. Losing it. I am so distracted suddenly. All right, we're going to squish you down so that you're a little wider, so that when you get stretched and squished, then it's a little bit easier to see you and stuff. Copy as SVG. This is exactly what Toby. Can I just call you Toby? This is exactly what Toby was talking about. Yeah, awesome. I'll probably forget, but at least for now. Pasta. Get rid of these. If Findle. Right, it's not taking a height currently. What did I call it? An archer? Fictal. I'm gonna confuse myself so bad with this. Oh no, I'm frozen. Okay, we're good. If Fictal, then we'll do the squishy one. Else. It's a redemption. Boom. Okay. So fictal will be whether we use the fat target. Oh my gosh, where is it? It's behind the timer countdown. I don't know if you can see it. So Thickdal is the name of one of our friends. His Twitch username is Thindle. but he publishes various extensions under Thickdal, his GitHub username, such as in NoDocs, which if you saw me open up any of my XML or JSON files, which I will do now, I will open up my secrets file. Did you say you're opening secrets? So here are my bot connection, everything that is needed to run my Twitch bot, that if you guys saw, you would be able to run my Twitch bot. But since I'm running NoDocs, had I accidentally opened this on stream, then you would notice that it's masked out and you can't see anything unless I push this button here, which I'm not going to because it has my stuff. So yeah, it's an extension. It is called NoDocs. You can check it out on Thindle's GitHub. And if you want to add it, you just go into your extensions and look for NoDocs, which it'll come up as Don't Dox Yourself. But yeah, really, really cool stuff, especially if you stream or you present to other teams or organizations or just people. I mean, it's anything. Yeah, it's really cool. So you're up, Disco. Your target is straight that way, right underneath the timer countdown. And you can do exclamation point shoot, exclamation point shoot, CHOOT, or exclamation point pew. The first number is the angle, where horizontal is 0, and then up, 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 up is to positive 90, down is to negative 90. We're going to do stuff with like gravity so that you kind of have to shoot down on occasion to make it go down and then up to hit the target. That would be cool one day. What else? Anything else? Oh, your draw force is the second number. So it's a number between 0 and 100, where 100 is the maximum velocity that you can shoot at. That is going to be variable eventually. So right now it's set to the Olympic standard of 106.68 meters per second. And gravity is set to negative 9.8 meters per second squared. Earth-ish gravity. I keep closing that. Dang it. I don't mean to close it. And the countdown timer will continue resetting for you as long as no one else is in the queue to shoot. So Duso's here. Hello, Duso. Duso says, super frustrated. My mom came to visit a couple weeks ago and dropped off a bunch of old consoles, PS1, PS2, Game Gear, Game Boy. Can I have your Game Gear? Well, my PS1 won't play games anymore, and the repairs that I may need to do require knowledge, equipment, more knowledge and equipment than I have or want. Man, I have a situation that's kind of similar. Not that I'm not trying to make you feel better. I'm trying to commiserate with you. Technology, hardware stuff sucks. I have an OLED TV that I was using as a monitor. And if you don't know, OLEDs are particularly susceptible to burn-in. And if you have a PC screen, then typically you have your taskbar, if it's not auto hidden, always showing. If you're constantly on YouTube or have the tab open, you get this bright red play button thingy, their logo. So I have burn-in right where this logo is, where it was in my bookmarks bar. And then since it was almost always the first tab open, then here, There's another burn-in spot here. There's another burn-in spot here. It's terrible. So I called, I got in contact with TV manufacturer, and I was like, so I'm getting burn-in. I wasn't expecting it to happen this fast. I'm running the pixel refresher every night. I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to do, except, making sure, like, I haven't been moving the browser around the screen, but whatever. Anyway, really expensive TV that now is pretty much, it's got these mud spots. And then now in the center of the screen, because I started just not caring anymore, in the center of the screen, there's a big splotch. So if we're watching anything that has red on it, you could see it. It was terrible. And then the thing that finally got me to break down and just replace the TV, well, there's two things. After they got back to me, they said, well, since you had the extended warranty, get in contact with your repair center, your authorized repair center, and see if they can do the repair. The repair center's like, well, we can't really do it because the panel is no longer manufactured. So they can't replace the panel. And then I dropped it. And then a couple years later, I'm like, all right, this is really, really bad. So then I got back with them. They're like, check with your repair center. It's going to have to be an out of warranty repair, so it'll be out of pocket. And so repair center's like, well, they still don't make the panel. And so I looked up the part, and the part cost as much as I paid for the TV itself. It was a lot. So I'm like, you know what? I can live with it. It's just some burn-in, and it's only when there's a whole bunch of red on the screen. But then, so imagine this is my TV, and it has burn-in up here. Suddenly, a pixel right around here is like, I give up on life. I'm done. And so now there was a bright red dot right here, regardless of whether there was red on the screen. And it was just staring at me. It's so bad. Maybe I can show you the screen itself, actually. Maybe not. Maybe I can't. Just kidding. I don't know where I put them. I thought I'd be able to find them right away. Oh, camera upload stuff. TV issue. Maybe not. I was sure it was here. Well, anyway, point is, I replaced the TV, and I got a QLED instead. TV issue. Found it. 2023 pictures. Okay, here's one shot of it. So this obviously, because the screen is bright, you don't see as much of it, but this one is really dark. This one's pretty dark. That one's dark, dark. There's more smaller spots in here. And then this big one that's in the middle right here. Well, the actual dead pixel, I didn't... Actually, did I take a picture of the dead pixel? I didn't take a picture of the dead pixel, but this was just showing that, you know, on green, there are no issues. But on red, lots of issues. So, word to the wise, don't use OLEDs as computer monitors unless you're only using your computer for like 4 hours at a time and you run the pixel refresher immediately after. Sticky fingers. Looks like my TV when my 2-year-old gets near it. Except we can't clean that off. So right now I have a TV that is just sitting there. That is, I don't know what to do with it. It's like the rest of the hardware is amazing. The processor, the everything that it uses as its technology, I'm sure is like, if I could just find another panel that I could just replace the screen with, they would work perfectly, but I don't know how to do that. You know? And Duso said, my Game Gear is unfortunately suffering from a screen issue. May need to have some capacitors replaced. No, even more hardware stuff. Blech. Blah. Yuck. Okay. I'm trying to get this CSS to apply. Why is not? We have a target. Dot target. We have an SVG inside of that target. And that is not applying. Okay, Disco, I'm kicking you out of the game. I saved, and it's probably going to cause a... Oh, no. It worked. It worked just fine. Nope, timer stopped. I have to refresh it. Gomenasai. You took too long to shoot. Getting CSS to apply can be challenging. It's because they don't like to work. Okay, so Thicto is tree. The other thing I wanted to pass in was the height. The problem with the height of the target is that there's a scale factor applied to the container. So what I'm probably going to do is have a height here, and then I'll overwrite it in the actual game window. Question, does anyone else's cursor turn red? Ooh, when it goes on the stream window. One day I will get that set up. I promise. So the reason for that, the story is to the front and to the side. I added an extension called heat map. And what heat does, oh yeah, you can't see it while it's not paused, or while it's paused. What heat does is it will allow me to receive any clicks that you do. It's because the streamer is so hot. No way. Any clicks that you do on the screen, I'll receive over WebSocket, or I don't know how it's done. I'll figure it out. But when you click on the screen, I'll be able to get it. The click. And I don't know what all that means, but I'll be able to get the click. I'm hoping to find a way to integrate it with the archery game or any other stream game that we have, where you can click on stuff and stuff, you know? It'll be fun. It'll be great. I just need to do it. Maybe I should just like disable the extension until it's ready, because it's confusing. Okay. What did I do? We're adding a height parameter. As a string. Nullable. Height. And then we're going to do private string. I disabled it on my stream for the same reason. But how far did you get with it, BitGamey? Because you're using StreamerBot, and it supposedly integrates pretty easily with StreamerBot. Like, I remember seeing Mario move on your stream. It just didn't. I kind of remembered seeing Mario move. Was it just because you were testing the actual movement when you manually triggered. All right. Just like streamer phone. It either works or it doesn't. It's terrible. Shots fired. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Make it nullable. Style. Style is what I'm trying to do. That's enough out of you. Balint soft. So if you guys don't know Balint, science streams. Oops. I don't know how to do this. Shout out. Science streams. Wonderful, amazing, really, really energetic streamer. Does science streams. Really cool. Check him out. But there's this bot shenanigans that go on with him and Big Gamey, and really good times. This is a great community. I don't know if you know this, but we have a lot of really, really cool and amazing people. You know what? You are not going to be nullable because I'm going to eventually add more properties. If height, if not string, is null or white space height, then height oh, this is gonna work. This is gonna be what I want it to be. And look, there he is. There he is. It's definitely worth checking out his stream. You will have a fantastic time over there. He streams pretty late in the evenings my time, so I'm usually only lurking, but every now and then, like on Wednesdays, when he's streaming early enough, I'll be in the Taco Bell drive-thru, just chatting away on occasion. Pulling me out of lurk. Not on purpose. Not on purpose. Screw it. My colleague did cover a file with 342 lines in it. This will also help our coverage and make my paltry extension methods a non-issue. Height. Height. We need parentheses for this. Not distracted at all, but I love being distracted. That's the cool thing about this stream. There is nothing that we have to get done, and I have to keep reminding myself of that, but there's nothing that we have to get done. When I was streaming my day job, that's when I felt like, and that's what kind of started this whole, I feel like I need to get stuff done. But I was doing my work during my workday while I was streaming. And so I needed to focus on the actual work that I was doing and get stuff done. But now it's fine. Okay, style, and thank you so much, Big Gamey, Duca Gamey, Bitsoft, children, you guys need to stop moving chairs. Then I'd stop calling you the wrong names. Sit in the same chair. Style, done. Save. It's gonna work. So I'm not going to provide that there. Instead, in here, come on, we're going to bring back height var use target height, but we are going to have a default height here. Oops. Use height var height. Which, yeah, this really needs to be... Oh, man. So anyway, thank you, Big Amy. I meant to give it to Tukasoft. Big Amy. You're so mean. But again, this is such a fantastic community. I love hanging out with you guys. I don't know if you know this. Oh gosh. This is gonna be terrible. I don't recommend doing this as your approach to anything like this. I'm using custom CSS properties to set the height. And what's happening here is we're getting a height passed in, target height that gets passed in to the game page itself. And that's because on the game page, I'm providing a way to customize the screen itself. So when you're using the game as a browser source, which we're doing here, you can customize it inside of the interact window. Oh, right, you're frozen. Refresh. So now we have this overlay that lets you position the game itself wherever you want to position it. Change the game settings, all that stuff. You get a URL back, and then you copy that, and then you use that as your browser source so that it shows up every single time. The same way. And I left it open. And then if you leave it open, then it takes up the entire screen. So anyway, so because the target size is a variable number, it's a random number between your minimum target height and your maximum target height, excuse me, then I'm passing that in using a custom CSS property to the element itself. You can see that here. You can see that here. You can see that here, where we get the actual target height. And so that's passing it in as meters. So then we also have a scale that we apply in the vertical direction that is different than the scale that we apply in the horizontal direction. So the target scale gets applied here when we're reading it in, and then we're using that target height. So we're using the vertical scale factor here. Depends on what functionality you want to use. Wait, you don't recommend Azure? I don't mind Azure. I do recommend Azure. That's how I dance when I see Belinton stream. I don't know that I could do that. That would give me a whiplash. But yeah, I wouldn't mind recommending Azure. So for my bot, for a lot, again, it's just my personality. I don't want to rely on other things and other people and other places. So I have local LLMs running on a computer over there with TextGen Web UI from Ubobuga. Again, running locally so that I can provide my own inferencing and TextGen stuff using open source models that I have downloaded from Hugging Face. I have local stable diffusion installation, as opposed to running an API that points to ChatGPT and then does inferencing that way, connects to the OpenAI API that way. I roll my own CSS. I roll my own components when I'm doing Blazor development. And when I'm hosting my bot, for example, I'm doing that on this computer. So as soon as we're done making the changes to the bot, I will publish it to a file on this computer, and then I'll register that file using NSSM, Non-Sucking Service Manager, I think is what it's called. But I'll register it as a Windows service so that it's always running as long as my computer is running. I mean, it would be safer to run it in Azure because you could potentially execute code on my computer if I expose code to be executed, but that's, yeah. That's for me to deal with. But for hosting, like the Automated Realms website that I showed, I'm hosting this in AWS. Again, it's a historical legacy thing. I started learning cloud computing and cloud hosting using AWS. And so that's what I got used to. That's what I started using. So I kept using it for all of my stuff. However, following the Microsoft Learn tutorials forced me to learn a little bit of Azure, and it doesn't seem that much different than AWS. Sure, the interface is completely different, but the services and the concepts are pretty much the same. Just named differently. President Not Sure says, for me, the trade-off between controlling everything and using a cloud platform for something is how much trouble it is to do it myself, along with the cost of the cloud functionality. Yeah, so weighing that. And for me, it's primarily, can I do this using my own local resources? Answer is almost always yes. And then for the things that I can't, then I do in the cloud. Because right now, these aren't client projects. The financial management tracker is a local project. The bot is a local project. And so right now it costs whatever my electricity bill goes up by because of streaming using the bot. It's not much. For side projects, it tends to lean towards let someone else handle it, except when something will get pricey if I don't do it myself. Rough. Okay, so what to do for height? What to do for height? I'm going to check for a pre-existing use target height. And then fall back to check for a target height. And then fall back to, I don't know, like 3 characters, arbitrary, random. And then this is going to use my target height. And so in my target, Thindle's here. Hello, Thindle. We already gave you a shout out earlier, but we may as well do a video shout out. Maybe you'll see Zelda. Maybe you'll see just Thindle.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Me too.
I will no longer allow spaces in my slugs. There, done.
You should never allow spaces in your slugs.
That's all I needed, I think.
Especially if you're going to use your slug as an ID.
Let's open this one. Start it with watch.
I decided to use a combination of year and slug as the ID. Exactly. Case in point. But yeah, that's Thindle, .NET developer, working on updating. Do you know Syncfusion? I don't know them personally. I know of Syncfusion, yes. I was talking earlier about how I don't use third-party component libraries, third-party vendors. I'm not averse to it. Again, if I'm just making a for fun project, then I'll use one that doesn't cost money. If I am making something for a client, then I typically roll my own. Speaking of my own, you might be able to find some on my GitHub. On my GitHub. that are incomplete and underdeveloped, but I do have a Blazor component library that I put together as I was learning Blazor. So if we go to oneline.github.io/pasta, then you can see some example usages of some of them that I created, like this drag and drop UI thing. That was fun. Real-time updating when you drag and drop. Why aren't you real-time updating? You're not the real-time updater. Nested drag and drop, where you can nest things inside of each other for things like SQL query building. That kind of thing. Oh, yeah. And then it can also generate, for example, your query string. Type ahead component, you start typing, it gives you some values that match. So if I typed something that starts with F, then everything that starts with F or has an F in it will show up on top. Form extensions, I don't remember what this is. Display for with no additional attributes. Display for with no attributes. And label for. All right. A carousel, which was really fun to make. So anyway, all of these types of stuff. No, don't send to chat. Okay, I'm from India and I got a job at Syncfusion. Awesome, congratulations, as software engineer, and they asked me to learn C#. My doubts is if I learn C# in 2024, am I able to get a job at Fang as C# dev or any kind of dev role if I switch from Syncfusion? So I'm a predominantly .NET developer. Fang is not as... Mana is not as lucrative a job as you might think it is. There are challenging things that are for specific people in Mana companies, or Mama, or whatever it's called now. We looked it up on Friday. Check out our stream on Friday. Fang used to be Facebook, Apple, Android, Netflix, and Google. Amazon is what I said. Amazon and Apple. But then it changed to Mang because Facebook became Meta, and then it became Mana because Google's parent company is Alphabet, and so they said Alphabet, and then they added Microsoft back into it, so it became Mama, and yeah. Including hot dog or not. Yeah, and Tesla, so Manta definitely was a thing too, but it was never a term that was intended to stick around. It was just something that someone said because they were lazy, at least according to an article that we looked up on Friday. But yeah, it changed. So anyway, big tech companies is what he's talking about. Will I still be able to get a job at big tech company like Google, like Amazon, like Netflix? Definitely you can get a job at Amazon with .NET skills, C# skills. There are tons and tons of jobs, in my opinion. I haven't really been looking for jobs, but I have never been without a .NET job for .NET, for C#. And it's really fun, in my opinion. Again, these are just my opinions. Take it or leave it. Just any high-paying company is okay for me, because here at Syncfusion, they only give me $260. Is that per hour? Is that per day? Per month? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about why they pay what they pay or how they pay. But in the US, I can only speak for in the US because I live in the US, I work in the US, and my previous job did not pay much at all. It was a lot more than $260 a month, but it didn't pay much relative to cost of living in this area and the amount of work that I was doing. I was pretty much doing 4 developers' jobs at the same time. And the reason that I stayed with them for as long as I did is I really, really, really enjoyed the work. It was so much fun. I got to use whatever technology I wanted to. I got to go in whatever direction I wanted to. There was so much freedom. And because of that, I got into Blazor. I was able to learn to use Blazor to develop real full-fledged applications. And it was such a good experience. But then diminishing returns, and I was like, all right, I probably need to find another job if you guys aren't going to give me a raise. And I don't usually, money is not my primary motivator. But with that environment that I was in and all the things that happened, especially towards the end, I needed to leave that job. So I got a job with Sagetti, which is a consulting company. And just so you know, any views and opinions that I express on this channel are my own and not necessarily the views and opinions of Sagetti. So Sagetti is a large consulting firm where they take a whole bunch of consultants, software developers, business analysts, etc., throw them at a project because they go out and they have people that win big contracts, like multi-million-dollar contracts. They throw software developers at it. And so I got put on a team that works with a specific client, and I get to use my Blazor skills to modernize their UI, to add functionality, and I get to keep using Blazor on a daily basis. So I was all for that, and they paid much better than my previous job. However, the people from my previous job are still very interested in working with me, and things might change in the near future because, again, Peter, Life Coding, warned me about it. But he's like, you know, consulting companies are a different animal, especially large corporate firms. You might not be know what you're getting yourself into. And I'm like, I understand that. I will find that out when I experience it, but I do want to experience it. So I experienced it, and I'm finding that there are some things that I would like to either see changed or not try to change anything and just find another means of continuing my employment elsewhere. Gosh, that's so hard to dance around those words. So anyway, yeah, 6 months is a good number. After 6 months, they gave me permanent work from home option, free snacks, and hike every 6 months. So yeah, like, I mean, if there are certain benefits that you are getting that offset that, that's cool. But again, I can't really talk to international billing or payment or anything like that because I don't know how any of that works. Hello, Reg, 9K. Do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. But the thing is that I don't mind work. I like work. I like stress, but the right kind. And I like frustration, but the right kind. And so one thing that you will find me doing if you were a fly on my wall is I will curse out my screen, curse out my keyboard, curse out my hands for typing incorrectly, curse out myself for missing a small detail that I should have caught, like targeting .NET 8 on my POC, and our build pipeline is only using .NET 7, and the rest of our projects in there are using .NET 7, so I shouldn't have been targeting .NET 8. Yeah, that was this morning, by the way. You would have heard a lot of expletives. But anyway, it's fixed. Pipeline is working again. Yeah, point is, you can find good quality work in C# if that's what you end up learning, but you can also find good quality work in JavaScript frameworks, in PHP, in Rust even still. But the short answer is learning C#, you will not be limiting yourself that much. certain industries have tons of jobs, especially for legacy applications in .NET. Banks, government. Those are the two that I can think of the easiest. I also had offers from two service-based companies called Tata Consultancy Services and Cognizant. I've heard of Cognizant, but I decided not to join service companies. Yeah. So, like I said, I am, and thank you so much for the follow. Speaking of follow, what happened to my ears? Why couldn't I hear that? I'm working for a consultancy. The previous company that I was working for was a consultancy. I heard that. Weird. Thank you, Dukesoft. Anyway, and I'm really not enjoying it. I'm not a fan of bureaucracy, which is what a lot of this is. It's working. It's working. If I had the opportunity to work 100% for myself, I would. And I'm trying to. Yeah. The end. Manual game. Show me the target. The target looks much better-ish. What does it look like on stream? Better. The target looks better. You can kind of see it. So let's see what happens if we try to shoot. Right, the other thing that I said I was going to do so that the arrow looks like it is... Oh, that's not going to work. Passing through the actual target itself, because it's kind of tilted like this, is I was going to change the change the perspective on the underlying div so that the arrow looks like it's going into it halfway across. Oh, that is hilarious. I love that thing. Okay. Anyway. Shoot. 360. Go. Dang. I think that was like really, really close to the center. .94 was my best score of those three. Awesome. Anyway, so there you go. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? Good. We're done with it. We got a target. We got an archer. Oh my goodness, what are these? I have not seen these. Are these like brand new, or are they like still a little bit... Have they been there for a while? Because like the last one that I remember are these two. I do not remember these. It was hilarious. If you guys don't know Irish John Games, definitely check him out. He'll be streaming in about an hour, a little less than an hour, maybe 15 minutes. He does game development. Irish John Games. Again, this is part of this amazing community. Big Gamey, Science Streams, Irish John Games, Settlix, Code Red Games, Red Cabin Games, Dragon Spirit Games, games that I am hopefully able to say I am a part of. Muniz, Thindle. So I'm not really part of the Code It Live team, which is Telerik or I don't know if Sync Fusion streams. Matwag. Does Sync Fusion stream? Anyway, actually my plan is I'm going to work at Sync Fusion for like a year and going to practice data structures and algorithms and do leak code in that 1 year with a hope to crack Amazon Software Development Engineer 1 after a year. Yeah, again, I mean, if that's your goal, but also keep in mind that there are software development positions that you might not make as big of an impact as you would at a large company like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, all the other places. If that's what you want to do, then that's cool. There are other companies that are more niche that might be specialized in a specific technology that you find out that you're more interested in, and still pay you decently, still pay you enough to live a comfortable life and whatever monetary compensation you would expect to get. Yeah. What I'm saying is don't limit yourself to them just because they are prestigious companies. But aim for them. If that is what you want to do, aim for them. Like I've had a dream for a really long time to do, to work at Microsoft, to work on Blazor, to work on the HoloLens, to work on the frameworks, the build tools, anything like that, because that sounds really interesting to me. Not because Microsoft are, this big company that are going to pay me a lot. I don't care so much about that. But as a developer, I have come to respect and rely on the brand, which is not to say they are without fault and stuff. Okay, one more try. Shoot. But I still encourage you to follow your goals, follow your dreams, and I will support you. I will encourage you. We have a great community of people that are just really supportive of people and their goals and their dreams. 93 out of 100. I did worse. So if you do feel like it, you can share your journey with us and let us know where you're at with learning, with doing your leak code. If you have questions about stuff, just let us know. Feel free to join our Discord and we'll be happy to hear from you and support you. Like I said, I'd rather have a slow moving job where I had space to exist and learn new stuff along the way. So Dukesoft, you and I are kindred spirits, I'm telling you. That's what I do love about the Rocky Mountain Arsenal position that I was working at. That way. Which is, like I told you, I was able to choose the technologies I worked in, even though I was doing the job of 4-ish developers. It was still using technology that I loved. I was able to use latest Blazor stuff and learn it. And there was a lot of deadline E type of stuff, but none of it was so important that if I missed it, the brand would suffer and lose a lot of money, because it's only like 20 to 30 users of the software that I worked on, but it's a lot of software. There were, and I keep forgetting this number, but somewhere between 7 and 10 web apps and 3 desktop apps that I was converting over and then maintaining after they got converted. And all of the systems admin stuff. Oh, and during that time, we migrated to the cloud, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, and again, this is like a niche job. I mean, it's still government-ish because the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, well, I guess I should be calling it Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge, used to be the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, and it used to belong to the Army. They had a whole bunch of chemical mess, them and Shell. had a whole bunch of chemical mess that they needed to get cleaned up. And once it got cleaned up, then they needed to have all of this monitoring and what's the other word? Reporting to EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. They also have fish and wildlife there since they are a wildlife refuge. And just, you know, even though it's all of those things, it's one small place with very few people, few users for the applications. But again, using latest technology. And something that maybe in the future they would let me do is start including some data processing using AI, because they have a lot of data. And I can already picture ways that I could use AI to predict things, especially when it rains and stuff. It'd be fun. Okay. Am I done? I think I'm done. I think we're done. Oh, wait. Target height. Okay. Okay, I'm going to commit these changes because this is for the most part everything that we were going to do with the archery game. Oh, sound. Sound was the next thing. We aren't done with the archery game because we wanted to add sound. Edit target sprite. We played around with the intercepts thing. Updated chat. Updated text gen, made it less chatty. But anyway, this is not open source at the moment. I do plan on making the bot open source in case you are interested in using a bot similar to this, but it's just not clean. This was me trying to get a bot to work and learn how bots worked and throwing a whole bunch of code together and then making a UI on top of it. And yeah. So it's not really worthy of having a repo, of being open source, but if you are interested in it, then I should have it available as an example. For using TwitchLib in a Blazor bot with UI components that can be displayed in OBS as a browser source or other places. Okay. We got 10 minutes. May as well start looking at how to add audio to when you shoot. So we'll need the games page. Don't look at my GitHub then. I'm sure it's fine, Dukasoft. You helped me out with the text splitter thingy that for whatever reason. Yeah, I keep reading Matwag's message and I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you not to pursue Fang or Mang or whatever it's called now. Definitely do that. But also, I would strongly recommend keeping your options open. That's all. That's all. Yes. Yes, Dukasoft. Okay, where are we at? We probably are going to want some kind of sound service because of the way that I write code. Anything that's going to be reusable, I would want to make as some kind of service that will perform whatever actions we want. The question is, since it's going to be specific to Blazor, service helper manager, exactly. Since it's going to be specific to Blazor, should I make a component that is like sound manager and then pretty much feed it all of the sound clips that it could play, or create a service that's standalone that we just tell it to play specific sounds and then implement that in Blazor. Service inject where needed. I like that. Go on with it, Thindle. I agree with you. So where's our abstract? Oh no. So I'm using a slightly different architecture. Okay, I'll put it here because this is where the rest of my services are. iSound Player service. Possibly have a player component to actually output the sound. Yeah, agreed. Play sound. And instead of a string sound name, yeah, that's going to be the hard one. I would prefer to have all of the possible sounds as an enum if we're going to provide it as a parameter instead of a string. Does the sound need to be played on a different PC? It shouldn't. Right. That's a thought, Thindle. In our program.cs, we specify all of our audio files. That can be played as resources. That's still really hard though. Hard is fun, easy is boilerplate. Yeah, I think the sound just needs to come from the browser source. Pitch could be fun. Like, yeah, okay. iSound source. What do you think? Have an interface for the type of sound that it could play, and you just define each sound in the code that implements this. So this would have something like file name. Sounds good. Oh dear. We'll do init only. How about another one? Just because of that, Dickasoft, how about another one? What did the buffaloes say to... Hey, that's funny. I was just talking about the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, which is known for buffaloes. What did the buffaloes say to his little boy when he dropped him off at school? Bison. But pitch. Since you wanted pitch on there. This will be changeable. Volume. What is your teeny tiny problem? My code is getting more and more difficult to understand. Ooh. Ooh. Sounds good. Is playing sounds good. Do I want to put that in the sound source though? Because all the variables are named Duca. That's okay. We're using Thictal as our Boolean variable to determine whether we're showing the tall archer or the chibi archer, and the tall target versus the squished fatter target. And I'm not going to remember that in 10 years. Like, WTF is Thictal? Yeah, Thictal is the smaller, rounder target. And the smaller, rounder archer. Non-Thictal, Thictal. It's South Park, I approve. Not my intention, but hey, if it works. And why wait? Okay, so since we are coming up on the end, we're gonna fight this mess. We're gonna figure this out on Wednesday. We will get the sound working and added. We'll. Oh my gosh! Wow! Look at this thing. Oh, you can't. This is almost as good as Thindle and Balint cat pictures, but you can't see it. This one is so nice. Oh my goodness. Let me go to big screen because this one is worth looking at. This is just my don't ever show the front of your phone to the camera, says Irish John Games. Come on, brightness. Come on, you can work. Come on. Here, in front of my face. There you go. That is a very pretty cat. Oh my goodness. First time I've seen it. Anyway, that's my lock screen. It has random cats that show up. So when I turned off my alarm telling me that we're nearing the end of the stream, I saw the cat and got distracted. So what was I saying? Thank you for joining the stream. It was a good Monday. Is it that? Cat no exist. I ended up copying the tab's address. Why can't I just right click on the link and copy it? That's really annoying. Sidan kaninte tas? Yagular Katkor? Anyway, it's a 404 cat service. I'm just going to keep waving though, as I say my goodbyes. As per usual, I will be posting the VOD for this stream to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I push the stop button, after I end the stream. And feel free to join us on Discord. And here's the Dugasoft is too busy posting mouths. Here's a link to my YouTube channel if you feel like checking it out. And then here's a link to the Discord. It's really hard to do with one hand. This one's getting tired. I'll be back again on Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is currently UTC -7, Feel free to hang out with me on other people's channels, such as in Mooniz. It kind of looks like Code Red is ending his stream currently, but I'll be turning them up. Settlix and Dragon Spirit Games, either that or Code Red is just taking a break. Dukasoft, you are not fired. You're still the best non-bot bot ever. And nobody can beat you. He's amazing. Nobody can replace you. Nothing. All right. I don't know. I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry. I'm just gonna end my stream. No raid today. Apologies. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, okay. Ciao for now. See you around. Irish John is streaming in 30 minutes. I'll be there too. Honest Dan Games. Kitty Kitty.